Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Summer here bringing you a let's talk of The Girl from the Other Side.
I would say that the most striking thing to me was the fact that I realized there was no dialogue very early on. This is only a 10-minute anime, but it packs a punch. So it was like a cross between like an old retro cartoon like Pingu and horror.
I didn't get horror vibes, you know.
How did you not get any horror vibes from this?
I got suspense. I got mystery. Maybe it's because of the Men in Black that I used to watch as a kid. I don't really judge creatures based on the way they look. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
It was nothing to do with the way that they looked. It was the fact that any touch can turn you into this dark creature, shadow creature, and she was terrified that it was going to happen to her.
Oh, I got the fear. There was definitely fear. I just didn't see horror. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird and I differentiate the two. But yeah, about that, the fear of touch, that's a very powerful emotion. I mean, it's 20% of our five senses, right? And if you're afraid of being touched or touching something and becoming corrupted, that is a bit cosmic on an internal scale. It was done really well to invoke that level of horror, I guess, that you were looking for.
Yeah, it's like real life horror, isn't it? Because really, not only is it what you were saying, but it's also they both craved it because they were like a father-daughter relationship, and she wanted to be comforted and he wanted to comfort her because he knew she wasn't fully happy and neither of them could do it, and she knew he felt bad and she would try and do little things to make him not feel so bad.
Yeah.
And it's just that real life horror because it's something that can really happen to you. It's not like those slasher movies where you're just like screaming at the screen, get up! But you know that's not going to really happen in real life. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But this is more...
tangible. Like,
yes.
It's more realistic. No, okay, when you explain it that way, yeah. Maybe because the horror that scares me is more cosmic horror and the futility of humanity in general. But this was, closer to home. I didn't feel horror, but it is horrifying, yeah. Okay, how did she get there?
See, that is never explained.
I know, but like we could kind of speculate, right? Because when they were on the boat and the reflection was the touch and it wasn't the touch in the world, I kind of felt like that lake was the gateway. I don't know, did you get that sort of vibe?
No, I felt like it was just him just wishing that he could just do that.
Yeah, I know.
And he thought in his head, like, I'm just gonna do it, but he knew he couldn't because if he did, it would basically destroy her. Also, they had a real dove. I think it was a dove. It was a normal dove and it was touched and then turned into like that shadow creature.
Yeah, corrupted.
So maybe this world doesn't just have these shadow creatures, but she might just be one of the ones that are okay. For instance, when he saw that she was gone, he panicked.
Yeah, he
was
ran
really
through. He was
scared.
like, oh my gosh, my daughter.
So now that could be he just didn't want her to leave, or it could be it's very dangerous for her to leave. He's extremely isolated from any of these other shadow beings apart from one that only comes around sometimes, comes real quick and then bounces.
Yeah.
And he always is at a distance from the girl as well. So I get the opinion that these shadow beings instinctively touch things and turn them into...
Yeah, that could be their purpose.
Right, but he's protecting this one.
He's like a vampire who doesn't drink blood sort of thing. That kind of... you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that kind of concept where he's going against the grain.
Yeah.
But then again, speaking of that other one that was there, I'm just going to call him Shadow Creature 2 or whatever. Speaking of him or her or it was weird that he never moved forward to touch her. Was he afraid? Because I kind of got fear vibes from him. I thought he was like, or it was like afraid to get closer, because the dove came to it never pursued.
True.
So maybe that's how they hunt, and this shadow creature one is broken a little bit. Because, you know, something's come to you to corrupt and you ain't done it yet. Like, it's weird.
Oh, I think it's the innocence, isn't it? It's because it was a small child. And I don't know how the shadow creatures think, but he did seem to have very human emotions. So I guess he could have still the instinct to protect the innocent. You know, usually not everyone, you know, there's always deviants out there. But for the most part, you want to protect small beings. You want to protect the young.
Or could it be a case where in order to become a shadow creature thing, you get corrupted? So you are touched by a shadow creature thing.
Well, and that's what I was thinking, yeah.
So he's a young shadow creature thing.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, he's not fully... You know what, shadow creature is such a horrible word. I'm going to keep using it now because that's the identifier for me.
What interested me was her dream. She dreamed in loads of vivid colors, and it was like crayon, like a kid's crayon. However, her real crayon drawings are only in black and white, so it does, maybe she was taken away from something, or I don't know.
Yeah, like we're not given enough to formulate concrete theories, but it is really nice and thought-provoking. What a great thought exercise this whole thing is. For example, how does she feel being in this environment other than fear? Because like she wants to give comfort to her father figure, Shadow Creature 1. She wants to help, and he is so careful to not touch her that he does it sort of instinctively, like that split second of not touching her when she went for the fruits, for example. Now, I found it interesting that she can probably be corrupted, which has still not been proven whether she can or not. The bird can, but the fruit can't, the chair can't, the cutlery and whatever cannot. What is the parameters for you to be corrupted when touched by a shadow creature? Do you have to be breathing or something?
Maybe it is only a breathing person, as you said, breathing creature. You know, you said that he did it kind of instinctually. After that, he actually pulled back even further, and he wouldn't even attempt to help her with the berries. He just left it on the table, and she looked kind of indifferent, and you could see that some years had passed.
Yeah, it's been a while now, isn't it?
So now he's just completely pulled back, and that's when her nightmares start.
Also, he didn't eat any food. The food was purely for her, and I found that really weird. Like, obviously it's indicative that they're not human, you know, the whole not eating thing. Maybe that is his sustenance, because if you look at the other shadow creature, it looked a bit bigger, well, rounder I should say, not taller, and he's thin as anything. So maybe he's on a diet, like definitely not absorbing or corrupting other living beings to get that sustenance, or maybe, I don't know. As I said, there's not enough information to clutching at straws, but this could lead to so much different things, and I think that's why I actually really liked it. A nice, short, thought-provoking anime to get my head around.
I think it would be nice if they developed this into a one-season anime, or even if it was just a couple extra episodes, because I think that it's worth it. It was really interesting kind of animation. They really played with the music. They had nowhere to hide because there was no dialogue. So they really put a lot of thought into every movement that was happening so that you could understand everything that was happening.
She seemed very mature for the age that she was drawn as, like very mature, and it gave me Promised Neverland vibes, how those kids had to mature quickly. Season 1, obviously, we're not talking about season 2, but she seemed like, okay, the reason why I say this is she put on a brave face knowing full well that her caretaker was sort of hurting. Now, he has no features that are determinable for you to kind of get that. So it showed a big level of emotional maturity, if anything. On top of that, look how big those chairs were. Now, I know some 3 and 4 year olds who couldn't get on the chair that big with those faces, and she kind of did a really good job getting on the chair and actually creating the thing. And then she stirred it over a hot pot. Now, she looked, 6 or younger, maybe 5 or younger? What kid do you know about that age is cooking for themselves? Now, I know there'd probably be some kids out there, but she had a high level of maturity for the age, and I think that's very telling of how long their relationship has blossomed. He's taught her a lot, and she's kind of had to learn it, or else, you know, the environment she's in is dangerous.
Now, I really enjoyed it too, but that is it from us. Let us know if you have watched Girl from the Other Side, and leave it in the comments what you thought about it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.
Peace.